present. Wayne, if you want to kick it off, tell me what you think about the construction of this team and what you can see, this season and beyond.
Yeah, I love AK. I actually saw him on Rush Street maybe several months ago. Actually, I was like, "Who's that tall person over there?" And I was like, "Oh, I think he just started with the Bulls and everything." So, but I was like, "Oh, I'm so excited to hear him or see him in person and just as a commoner, basically." So, I love what he's done so far. I like that he is not just collecting talent for the present, but also building for the future. The Patrick Williams, I was a big Patrick Williams fan when he got drafted. I was looking, I was like, oh, could they possibly trade back and get him, maybe instead of 4, but maybe like at 7 or 8, I think was where he was more so projected to go. Sure. But I liked his whole makeup. I thought he fit the squad for the Bulls. So I like that he's, held on to him. I know there's been like rumors of possibly trading him for like Durant or some other players, but I like that it's like, oh, we can, make some trades, trade some first rounders for DeRozan to help out also with making Levine stay. Basically, we're not making him stay, but be like, hey, we're building a team around you, and then Vucevic as well. So I think it's great that he's been able to just be like, hey, let's make ourselves contenders, and then that's brought in some key free agents too. With Caruso Show. But yeah, like getting DeRozan to sign as well, like that was a big thing, and I think that Vucevic also I know kind of helped him there. So just getting that whole it's just shifted. It's completely shifted. I think there was just like, oh, we're gonna have another lottery pick, and then that lottery pick's probably not gonna pan out, and then Levine's just gonna walk away basically. Like that was the biggest fear amongst a lot of Bulls fans. Now it's like, how can Levine not stay, not resign and all that? And then, having Patrick Williams, who's supposed to be coming back, I think I just heard tomorrow from his wrist injury. So really excited to see what we could potentially do in the playoffs. I think that's the key thing. And Patrick Williams, he's going to bring that defensive edge. The defense has struggled of recently, and that's why they've been losing some. So I think having him guard, the best wing on the other team, I think that'll be awesome to see. So very optimistic about where they are right now, and then also building for the future. I think he's kind of set up those pieces perfectly. To be honest I don't know if he could have done a better job necessarily. So yeah, what do you think?
Perfect construction of the team with, what talent was out there at the time. Signing DeRozan and getting back, a guy who could have started in the All-Star game as far as performance goes from the start of this year. Super impressive. Always a, above average talent, good to great type of shooting guard in this league. But definitely took it to another level, joining the Bulls. Loved the chemistry out the gate. It's too bad we've had so many injuries kind of hamper the continuity of the team and just kind of seeing what their upside could have been from start to finish. I truly believe they'd probably be in the 1 seed now, just with how things were going and with the guys that they had. It was fun to watch, their energy level, the commitment on the defensive end, and then seeing kind of the breakouts of Lonzo Ball and DeRozan. And, Levine's been steady. And like you're saying, there's no chance that he's leaving. No chance. He's the guy who was kind of the anchor for that team, even when we were down, and now he's getting all the benefits of it, and they're building, a team around him in a way. So he's got to appreciate that and see the vision from that point of view. If he left, I'd truly be floored. And, if he's not joining up with the Nets or the Warriors or something that's just, completely obvious, then yeah, I'll lose a lot of respect for him on just an individual, talent and kind of how to go about a career in that sense. I just think it'd be kind of crazy, but all that aside, I think with where they're at currently, I think they'll definitely put up a good first round fight. They're going to get a tough opponent. As far as right now, it looks like the Celtics would be who they're slated against in the East. That feels like it could change from now until the start of the playoffs. But whoever they draw in the first round is going to be tough. I see that series going 6 or 7 games, and it's kind of a coin flip for me based on who they get. In that matchup, if it is the Celtics, boy, I'd be really hard pressed to go against the Bulls in that situation. But the Celtics have been scorching hot too. So in any case, I think going into next year, with wherever we land this year, whether it's a first round victory or exit, I see that kind of being the range of what our upside is for this season. But when I think about kind of going into next season, one, rumor that's been all over the news and social media and everything else is, what's Rob Pelinka going to do with, everything going on in Los Angeles? Anthony Davis is obviously from here. If I was Rob Pelinka and, you're AK Artūras Karnišovas, and I said, hey, Artūras, let's talk Anthony Davis, but let's also talk about the Bulls roster and what you possibly offer me for this guy. Are you picking up that call? Are you shutting it down, or are you getting serious, rolling up your sleeves and offering some of our guys?
No, that's a good question. I mean, I don't know how you don't take it. I think is the biggest thing. That being said, what kind of assets? I would be interested in hearing what he would want in return. If the idea is, hey, I don't know what the salaries all look and match and all that, but if it's like what Vucevic and then maybe a Patrick Williams or Kobe White, like I don't know. So it really would depend on how much I guess we would be willing to give up, but it would be hard. It would be hard not to take that call. I mean, Anthony Davis, again, when he's not hurt, right, is probably one of the top 5 players in the NBA. So, I would totally consider it. But, it would definitely be hard to say goodbye to someone like a Patrick Williams or something like that, though, I would say. So
what if I said, hey, LeBron's told me that he's going to stay next year if we make this thing work, and he wants to see the effort put in to make this a team that he can play with. What if I call you and I say, hey, I want DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, and, one of your young chips that's currently on the roster. Forget draft picks. I don't think those matter to Los Angeles. But, what would you say to that? Would you give up DeRozan, Ball, and Desamnu or White or Williams to get Anthony Davis?
Yeah, I wouldn't, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would. I think given where we're at right now, it's like we would get Anthony Davis, who, if he can be healthy, again, is one of the best players in the NBA. And I understand that DeRozan is a little bit, he's getting up there in years and all that. But he's really kind of been kind of the heart and soul of this year's team. Like, he's very much had that chip on his shoulder and being like, hey, everybody thought I was going to be out of the league and all that, and he was having one of the best seasons in his career, and one of considered an MVP candidate and all. So I would definitely still want him to be on the team and all that, even though I know he's from LA and probably would get excited about joining the Lakers. So I would say no, but I'm not a GM. Damn it. Yeah.
No, that's fair enough. So to close on this segment with the Bulls, what do you think they're going to do, number one, in the playoffs this year? And what do you see this offseason bringing for us, whether it be the draft or just free agency? Where do you see, next year's roster really being?
I mean, I would love to see the Bulls get out of the first round. I don't know if that'll happen, but I would love to see that, just given I know that a lot of our players in their prime, if we can be all healthy by playoff time, I think we can put up a good fight. That being said, I know the Bulls have not fared well against top competition. So I know that's been the the ML and everything. I think it was like they have like 0-13 versus the top 3 teams, right? In the Eastern and Western conferences. So it's like, oh, we're not going to do well. We're not going to beat the Bucks. We're not going to beat the Heat probably. But who knows? It's the playoffs. Things can go crazy. But I think a success would be getting out of the first round. I would love to see that. And then, I'd love to see a full off season with Patrick Williams healthy, him being more integrated within the lineup. And then, if we can figure out what to do with Kobe White, I think that would be great. But I would hate to see him walk and all that. I don't know what we could possibly do with that. But I think we can kind of grow from there, see if any free agents, the Bulls have been put back on the map now. So I'm hoping that maybe we can get some possible free agent signings to, from players that think like, oh, I can fit right in here. Whether it be another wing, somebody off the bench, maybe somebody to kind of take that scoring off the bench type of mentality, with Kobe probably leaving. So, but yeah, I would love to see some sort of progress there. But yeah, it's hard to put everything kind of the season. I think there's a lot of Bulls talk about the Bulls winning the NBA championship. It's hard. It's a really competitive league. I don't see that possibly happening, but very hopeful that it would. So yeah, what do you think?
I'm kind of, posing the question of Anthony Davis would be my dream come true. Yeah. There's something that I think needs to wake up inside of him from a competitiveness standpoint. I mean, there's no excuse for what the Lakers put out this season, regardless of fit and, the age of the roster and this and that. I mean, if you're scratching and clawing for a 10 seed in the West with some of the other teams that are out there, and you've still got LeBron and Westbrook, and, you got Malik Monk, and you've got, guys that are NBA players surrounding LeBron James, Westbrook. And even when Davis was on the floor, it was very pedestrian basketball. But just from a talent standpoint and a, position scarcity standpoint, as far as the fours go, I mean, there aren't a lot of guys like Anthony Davis in the NBA. You've got, Kevin Durant, Karl Anthony Towns is exciting, but he has really never proven much with the Minnesota Timberwolves over his years. I just kind of feel like, getting our hands on a guy like that, pairing him with Levine, hopefully when, like I mentioned, the offer wouldn't be, everything in our cupboard, but I'd also look at it from you re-sign Levine, you got maybe some young talent left over, or Vucevic, perhaps. What free agents may be out there to help fill the holes and kind of, organize a new type of super team, at least in Chicago. Maybe that's a possibility.